Welcome back. All right, so I'm going to review this game, and then we've got two games coming on for the West Coast. But for those in the East Coast, here's a review of this game. And it really shows that anything that can go wrong generally does for the Montreal Canadiens. At the same time, this honestly has got to feel like a pretty hard-won point for Montreal. It was a fun little game. I understand that there was a lot of players on both protocol lists. Montreal short 11 players at the start of this one. But, again, a lot of fun. I do enjoy seeing the kids play. And when these games take place, I don't kind of sigh and go, well, this is going to be terrible because all the big names are out. I just look at it and I say, you know what? This is a good opportunity for some kids to come in and make a good impression. And I thought both teams had players make a decent impression, although... the guys who got the goals for Tampa in general, kind of well-known players. So, Montembeault versus Lagacé as your goaltending matchup. This, of course, is not Vasilevsky and Price. It's not Allen and Elliott either. So, both teams, going through their depth here. 11 Habs, as I said in protocol. Braden Point makes his return. Very prominent in this game, especially early. Early press, though, by the Habs. Point then has a shot that deflects out. Pretty tentative start to the game, I thought. It ramps up pretty quickly, though. The Habs had a true 2-on-1. Drouin was denied there. Kachuk can't bury one as the Bolts press. The shots are 3-1 for the Habs, 6.5 minutes in the game. So Tampa Bay's getting chances, not getting shots on net. Pretty good defense by Montreal at this point. So there's a power play for Montreal. There was a shorthanded chance and a crossbar for Nash. Pretty aggressive penalty kill throughout the night by Tampa. Evans can't bury one, and it's killed off. So Montreal 0 for 1 to that point. Pezzetta then had a net drive that was stopped, but Vedemo is not. He gets his first goal of this season, his second goal overall in his career. The assist to Pezzetta and Paquette at 10:46. That's the first point for Paquette as a Montreal Canadian. And that was it was a pretty easy one into an empty net for Vedemo. Pass comes across to him. And, yeah, it's a pretty easy empty netter for him past Lagacé. Bolts nearly answer on the next shift. Gallagher then has a rush chance the other way that's saved. But Tampa Bay does answer back at 11:38, so it takes less than a minute for them to tie it. It's Braden Point from Joseph and Hedman. Nice end-to-end play by Braden Point. And it's under the glove hand of Montembeault. Stamkos then nearly makes it 2-1. Ruda has a shot that's saved and held. The hits were ramping up at this point in the game. There was a lot of hits in this game. There was, considering the inexperience of the players, a lot of hits. Drouin with a net drive fires wide, and then Point on a turnover in the Habs end ends up getting a goal from Killorn at 14:10. It was a nice play by Killorn to get the puck, gets it over to Point, and it's in. So that's 2 goals for Point in less than 3 minutes. Point then nearly completes the hat trick on the next shift. Killorn has a chance in close. He's saved there. Montembeault was roaming a lot, I thought, in that first period. Kind of an adventure. If a goalie's going to come out of the net to play the puck, it's important that you make sure that you're going to be able to get said puck and that you're going to get it to your teammate. And with Montembeault, it was a little shaky there. Momentum was with Tampa or Braden Point. Really, Point was all over the ice in the first period. Second period, Bolts get early chances. Ruda had a chance that was blocked. Evans with a wraparound that wouldn't go. And then Harvey Pinard scores his first National Hockey League goal from Niku and Schueneman. Schueneman gets his first NHL point. Niku with his first point, I believe, is a Montreal Canadian. That's a 2:05. So there's a lot of firsts going on. I tried to track them as much as I could here. But yeah, it was a pretty good shift by Montreal, and they tie up the game at 2. Bolts try to answer. They pressure at 3.5 minutes. They end up drawing a power play out of that. Shorthanded chance for Paquette on that. Montreal was aggressive on that penalty kill. Kulak has a shot blocked as the Habs would kill it off. And hey, if you spend the penalty kill in their zone, that's a pretty good way to kill off a penalty. So Maroon has a shot right after the power play ends. That's saved. Gallagher scores on a net drive. It's waved off for goalie interference. Now, it is challenged, and according to the Situation Room, they say no. And here's the thing, and this is something that was said by Pierre LeBrun as well, that it wasn't conclusive to overturn the call on the ice. So if the call on the ice had been that's a goal, it's likely they don't overturn it. So it wasn't a strong enough argument to overturn it and rule that it was a good goal. So they ruled it as no goal, and because it's a challenge that gets us to this point, Tampa Bay ends up with the power play. During said power play, Killorn hits a post. Stamkos has a chance that's saved. Savard clears it. And then just as the power play ends, Colton scores from Stamkos and Perry at 8 minutes and 11 seconds. So it doesn't count as a power play goal. It should, but it doesn't. I've talked about that before. It was a nice cross-ice pass. Not much of a chance for Montembeault on there. And yeah, the Habs then get a power play. There's a shorthanded break for Killorn that was saved, and it was a really good penalty kill. Again, Tampa Bay's penalty kill was very aggressive. Lots of opportunities. They did kill it off. Legace then saves after. Habs go back to the power play. Well, that leads to another break for Killorn, shorthanded. So Killorn shorthanded, showing he's pretty dangerous. But it's killed off. Romanov then has a hit that rattled Tkachuk. I thought it was a clean hit. Maroon would grab onto Romanov. Romanov wanted nothing to do with fighting Maroon. I don't blame him. I don't. But anyways, yeah. There's a rush then by Point. He can't bury one. The Bolts then get a 4-minute power play on a double minor for high sticking. Hedman has a one-timer that's saved. There's a shorthanded chance for Evans. He couldn't bury that. Corey Perry then hits a post during that power play. McDonough has a shot saved. Perry nearly gets one. And then Perry and Paquette were unfriendly during the stoppage. The odd part of that being Paquette was a Tampa Bay Lightning team member, and Perry, of course, last year was a Montreal Canadian, so it's weird. Habs survive it, and then with 10.8 seconds left, Montreal gets another power play. So that rolls over into the third period. In the third, the Bolts penalty kill, aggressive again. No setup by the Habs. They cannot set up for the power play goal. So the Bolts kill it off. Perry then has a shot that's saved. The Bolts press. Paling was then stopped on the doorstep. Evans has a wraparound, that's saved. Colton with a rush chance, he goes around the net, it's saved. And then the puck goes the other way, and Montreal scores. Clegg from Caulfield and Paling at 6 minutes and 11 seconds. I love that combination. Clegg with his first NHL goal. And so, yeah, Caulfield with an assist, and really good play by Paling, so he gets the secondary assist, but Paling really helps set the whole thing up. Romanov then has a shot that saved. The momentum's with the Habs after the goal. Tkachuk couldn't bury one as Niku defends. The Bolts rush. Point had a shot that was saved. Clegg then denies Killorn an opportunity. And the Bolts were pressuring. And then, on a turnover, Savard did his best impersonation of McDavid on this one. It was a really nice play. 13 minutes and 9 seconds. Some nice moves. Deeks there. His first goal as a Hab and against his former teammates in Tampa. So that makes it 4-3 in favor of Montreal. All of a sudden they have a lead, which I don't think very many people saw coming. Suzuki tries to add another. Point nearly answers. Montembeault with a stick save, and then it went off the post after his stick. Bolts press with 5 minutes left. Suzuki with a net drive. Bogosian defends. Evans had a break that was denied, and Ylonen can't bury the rebound. Goalie pull with 2.5 minutes left. Point has a rush chance that's defended. Gallagher with an empty net miss. And then Palat hits the post. He'd remember that. Bolts call a timeout. After the timeout, 6-on-5, there's a post for Stamkos. And really, Tampa Bay had them pinned down a lot in those last 5 minutes. But in that last minute, Montreal was really running around. And eventually, Corey Perry ties the game at 19 minutes and 40 seconds. So he has a goal and an assist in this game. Point and Stamkos with the assists on that. So Point with his third point of the game. 2 goals and an assist for him tonight. And that forces overtime. In overtime, off of a face-off in the Montreal zone, and Tampa Bay had the first opportunity. They would have the second as well. Kulak is flattened by Palat. The Habs then turned it over, and it's in the back of their net. It's Palat from Hedman at 36 seconds. So Tampa Bay, they do it again. And this is what Tampa does. They're 21-6-4. They win it in overtime 5-4. Montreal 7-21-4 with the overtime loss. And Tampa Bay just gets the wins. And they're not always pretty. They're not always fantastic. But they keep winning. The shots in this one, 10-9 Tampa in the first, 17-10 Tampa in the second, 12-8 Montreal in the third. In the overtime, Tampa Bay gets 2 shots, including the one that matters. Final shots, 37-31 for Tampa. This was some pond hockey. Both teams 0 for 4 on the power play. The hits, 37-34 for Tampa. Montembeault saves 32 out of 37. Legace saves 27 out of 31. Good old-fashioned 80s style hockey game, and I enjoyed this. I did. As somebody who has no emotional investment in the game for either team, I enjoyed this. I thought it was a good game. And, yeah, I mean, Montreal can build on this. This is them getting a point in Tampa against a very good team. And I understand Tampa was missing a lot of players. So was Montreal. So to me, it was kind of a saw-off, although it felt like there was more experienced guys in the Tampa lineup than in the Montreal lineup. But there's also the fact that the kids, Harvey Pinard, I thought had a very good game. Vedemo had a decent game. And I like Pezzetta's energy level. I know he's never going to be a top 6 guy, and it's a nice storyline with Schoenemann making it to the NHL and getting into his debut tonight. I understand, again, that some of these guys making their debut under normal circumstances, they wouldn't be anywhere near an NHL job. These are not normal circumstances, and so I commend them for coming in and playing well. And Schoenemann had penalty killing time. He may earn himself another look at some point this season. So I'm glad to see that there's guys who are taking advantage of getting this opportunity, and that's why these games are still fun to cover. Even when there's a lot of players that are on the protocol list, there's a lot of guys that aren't in. It's an opportunity for others. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.